Morning, Loz. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right.
What's going on? How's your morning been?
Oh, just a normal morning. I think a Wednesday hump day morning, usual stuff.
Yeah, getting ready for the downward slope into the weekend.
That's what we do. Go down towards the weekend.
How's your show been going today? I heard you talking about Red Centre Nats. It's pretty cool. Lots happening and lots coming up.
Yeah, it's crazy, actually. I just read through the program and there's so much going on.
Absolutely. And it's also Red Centre Nats weekend is Father's Day weekend. So Father's Day is on that Sunday. So people should grab tickets for Dad. Let Dad go have a day at Centre Nats.
I think Dad would like that.
I think so too.
I could speak for every dad. No, I can't.
I actually have to organise my dad's Father's Day present. I have not yet done so, but because he's in Melbourne, I need to organise it a bit further in advance, and I have not done anything. Every year I say I'm going to start, I'm going to get prepared, organised early, and then I don't. Then it doesn't arrive in time.
Well, you just got to get organised, Loz. That's all you can do.
I know.
As a road train shakes us on the way through. Don't you love that?
Do you know, you say things like that sometimes, but people listening can't hear it. So
you don't reckon?
No, because you've said it before when I've been in the car listening, and I'm like, I can't hear it. All I can hear is you saying, "Oh, trucks are going past." I'm like, okay.
If I how we record this and put it on YouTube, I can always hear when I listen back to it.
Really?
Oh yeah, I can hear it. But that's just me. I haven't got great ears either. I've been in radio too long. Awful ears. But anyway, won't go there. Tell you what's happening, though. We've got local government elections being held in August. If you haven't noticed, there's a few little signs around town for council representatives.
I've already voted.
Have you voted? Did you vote often and vote? No, only vote once.
Yes, I voted early because I always panic that that I'm going to be busy or forget or something. And I just happened to be uptown. And I was walking back to my car and I glanced over and I was like, oh, early voting centre. So I just popped in and did it.
Good on you. Well, local councils make important decisions that shape everyday life in communities, and you need to check that you're correctly enrolled to vote, and you can find out more at the local government elections, including your voting options, or just do what you did, go and do easy early voting, but you can find out more at ntec.nt.gov.au. Our territory, your vote.
Yes.
It is compulsory.
It is. Have you ever received a fine for not voting?
Of course.
I have.
But the great thing in Melbourne is there's a setup on it because I'm registered in Melbourne to vote, so I can't vote in these elections. So that's great. So I can't have a favourite here because I keep moving house because I just moved again. So once you move, you've got to wait, I think 3 months, is it, before you can vote?
Yes. So, obviously, I'm from Melbourne too.
Yeah.
One time, I don't know if I've ever told you this story before, but I was moving house in Melbourne and I was driving up and down this main road multiple times in the day.
Right.
And I saw over at one of the primary schools, one of those police buses, and it was lots going on, and it looked like the filming of RBT, to be completely honest. And so I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to get pulled over and be on TV for the filming of RBT. And then when I actually got pulled over, eventually after my third pass, they did the standard breatho, asked for my license, went back to their car, and then they came back. I'm like, this is an RBT, and they asked me to step out of the vehicle and into the police bus. And I was like, what have I done?
Oh my goodness.
I've done something wrong. And anyway, so I was freaking out. I'm like, why am I getting arrested? What is happening? They got me into the police bus, and they said, there's a warrant out for you from the Sheriff's Department for failure to vote in a local election.
No way.
Yes, so this whole thing happened and I'm freaking out.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, no, it was. It is. If you fail to vote and don't pay the fine, you get your name flags.
Wow.
So I explained to them, it was actually quite funny. I explained to them that because I had just moved back to Melbourne, I'd been living here. But the election that I failed to vote in was a local election in Melbourne when I lived in Alice Springs. And I was like, but I didn't live in Melbourne when this election happened. And they were like, well, did you update your details? I was like, yes, I did actually. I'm not sure why I haven't, it hasn't updated. And they're like, well, how can you be sure you updated your details? And I was like, well, before moving to Alice Springs to work at Sun 969, I worked in Melbourne for the Australian Electoral Commission and I updated my details when I resigned. Yeah, and they were like, oh, okay, just fill out this stat deck. So I got it all sorted, but a lot of people, especially when it's a local election, if they fail to vote or something and then get a fine, they kind of go, oh, whatever.
It's interesting because it was highlighted back around or a few years ago that if you responded to it, then you were in trouble. So So most people don't respond to it and they don't ever get in any trouble. So we've had it a couple of times. Like we had a situation where our whole streets were blocked off in the area because we were in a funny little spot that there was only two ways in, and both ways were blocked, or one way in, and then we couldn't get out and we couldn't get to it, and then I had to go to work and all this sort of stuff. So we couldn't vote that day. We were supposed to both vote in the local election. This was in the northern suburbs of Melbourne, and so we didn't vote. Of course, the fines came through, and we did what Neil Mitchell on the radio station in Melbourne would tell us what to do. Not to vote, not to respond to it, and we never responded. And we never got warrants, never got anything for it. So I think they might have changed that rule now, but that was definitely back. That was a good 7 or 8, maybe 8, 9 years ago.
Well, I worked for first the Victorian Electoral Commission. Yeah. I worked for them while I was at uni, and then got promoted to the Australian Electoral Commission before I moved to Alice Springs. And that would have been in 2008. So I worked back for the Victorian Electoral Commission. It was 2008. I want to say, because I moved here in 2009, and we used to receive, when I was at uni, we worked in this floor of this building where you were on different, so when you got to work, you were either on phones that day, which meant you were answering phones of people ringing to complain, usually after they received their fine, or you were in letters, which was where you actually went through the letters and sorted them into whether or not it was a reasonable excuse not to vote, denied or accepted type of thing, and we went through mail. And I can say from when I worked there back then, they didn't. Once you received your fine in the mail, there was no follow up. You just a black mark was put next to your name. Yeah, essentially, and it would then eventually go to a creditor. The Victorian Electoral Commission weren't chasing you. No,
they don't chase.
Yeah, but you would still get in trouble. But it could come up like it did with me years later.
Interesting, because this was just specifically for council elections. If you didn't vote in the other ones, you'd be in big trouble. That was a definite. But it was just on the council one. There was something that they hadn't done, hadn't crossed something, dotted something. Yep. This was about that back in that time. But I think since then I've always voted or whatever, done all that. And if I haven't, well, I don't know. Well,
that's why I'm a stickler now.
It may catch up with me one day. But look, we've got the candidates. You can meet the candidates tomorrow night at the convention centre. So from 5:30 to 8:30. It's all brought to you by the Chamber of Commerce tomorrow night, and you can go along. There's candidate introductions and presentations, a moderated Q&A session, networking opportunities with community members and leaders, and beverages available for purchase. That's all tomorrow night in the Ellery D room at the Alice Springs Convention Centre.
That's really good for people who are a bit unsure about where to vote, who to vote for. That's a really awesome event that they should go to.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I might go myself.
Good idea.
But I can't vote. So
but still, it's still nice to be informed.
But I like to know what's going on. I've met a couple of candidates just in my everyday travels around town, and they're flogging themselves to me and telling me why I should vote for them, even though I can't vote for them.
Yes.
So yes, it's been quite interesting to meet a few of them, and I like what they're saying. Obviously, we want a bit of energy in the town. We want a bit of excitement. So,
absolutely.
Get the town, make the town great again, as Trump would say.
Let's not talk about Trump.
No, we won't go there. But anyway, look, we better roll off and get to the news. We'll have our part 2 exclusively on our YouTube channel, plus this one as well. And our YouTube channel is Listen to Sun 969. And you've got requests coming up?
That's right. Requests coming up. If there's a song you want to hear, let us know. 89555969.